You're still watching Bright Extra on Bright TV. I should form say we feed you that's what I say. First of all, let me say a very big thank you to my sponsors, Jura Ghana Limited. One more no masoma snain already program bro. And then so dear. Osha said you're about to na masha dash African prints na. Mentuma. Or no, and a woman meant to makama and a mapamashe na face so MSK by Matilda Kudiabo and so now was styling me. I just said medity. I mean, we are measure so the hair city. One no pay and wo to me ma when you papa. Now washing you we append to my pato at the upper mataria sheno. Now was so we see when him kama. Berry glows or no so ever watch I say, we see who kama ama baby I walk on bibia ada deada. Baby I'm going to bring you a very insightful interview with one of the legends in the beat making industry in Ghana. Ene onipa me ne ba betwetwe nkomo e obi a said ya me de bia me di kan say beat nyu ho a enwom no ye a enye ye, at least the song has to come with some sort of vibe, some sort of rhythm to go with it. And beat makers in Ghanaian industry, you know, wo ka top 5 papa we edimu akotene pa ye friend Joshua Raffleson ni di yankasa no badodo na nim say ye friend J Master J ye JMJ sub me body no waka enyum bebre but J Master J baby ene wa ba come in sa ha ye ne no e ba betwetwe nkomo ofa me da say ne wa ba to grace my show. Having a legend like you is like very heartwarming. Thank you so much for coming today.
One kasa de.
Oh, me that's
You
got me blushing. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much.
I mean, today having you here in the industry is like, oh, say, Dodona, yetienum. But sometimes we always hear the credits given to the beat makers and all that. But we don't usually talk about the beat makers. Like it's like we don't throw more light on them like we do on the lyrics of the song or maybe the artist of the song. And with you here today, you know, I feel like this is a legend. You've given us great tunes to jump to. Lyrics cannot beat in Kawa. How do you flow with the vibe? I mean, we thank you for all the hits you've given us.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's a pleasure also hearing from you. Let's dive straight in. Now, there are a lot of people coming up who want to be beat makers and all that, and sometimes they don't really understand the journey of some of the legends like you. So let's touch briefly on that. When did the passion and the journey for beat making start?
Okay.
Oh, okay,
so basically, the journey for me started when I went into the studio to record my own song.
Okay.
So I bought into a studio called Case Frequency in Asalem Down. Then there was this great producer there called Apietus.
Right.
And so we vibed, and then he was supposed to produce my song for me. But what happened was very, very dramatic. You know, because I started as I play instruments in church a lot.
Okay.
So before I would want to sing any song, I already know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So here is somebody. Those days you do a demo. It's not today that everybody's
demo now. You go see the song.
Exactly. So it was supposed to be a short demo of the song, but Apia was shocked to realize that you want to come and do a demo. And you want to control me, the producer.
Yes.
Tell me how you want it.
Yeah.
Who are you? So we actually didn't get along very well on the first day.
Okay. There was some sort of friction.
Yeah, because the ideal thing was the musician would have been like this, and then near boss, no KBI would have been, but I was not like that. So it didn't go on very well, but we became very cool. Then I was working at, I think, ABC breweries, Achimota breweries.
Okay.
So when I close from work, I'll come to the studio, spend time with Apia in the studio, and then just watch around what they are doing. And it's amazing because anytime I enter into the studio, I see this studio equipment. Yeah. It's like I just fall in love. It
fascinates you.
I went after work. I'll just take car straight to Asalem Down, hang out with Apietus. And you know the beautiful thing? One day I went to the studio to meet Apia. Apparently, Apia didn't come to work that day. He was revolting not to work with the company any longer. So when I got there, the owner of the studio was like, you cry, you've been coming every time. What do you really want? So I want to do my demo and then go. He said, okay, come, I'll teach you engineering. Then after that, record your own demo and go. For me, I thought it was just going to be like a week or two. Then because my focus was to get my song done. But when that chance came to me, every time I see this equipment, I just fall in love.
Yeah.
Every time. Can you imagine that all these years I've not even been able to record my own song?
But you producing beats for people.
That's just how it started.
That's the passion. I think say Abiana and you know the song had to lead you to the beat making.
I also think it's also because that love started from church. Playing the instrument at church, traveling with pastors. So I was already used to music. But the studio life was the beauty that got me so much into it. Yeah.
All right. Now, J Master J has produced a lot of big international acts and some local acts like Obrafo, Samini, Stoneboy. Name them. Who? There is no big actor or no onine enye jumada. But then you would agree with me, say Ebedu sometime we were not hearing much of you. At some point it's like you phased out, although your work still lives. It's like we were not getting much of him because not hit song be brave, but people were anticipating, say, oh, Master J should have been on this beat and all that. What happened at that period?
Okay, so I'm into a whole lot of stuff.
Okay.
I'm not just a producer, what you people call beat maker.
Yeah.
There are different kinds, but let's not go into that. Basically, I'm into audiovisuals as well.
Okay.
A whole lot of radio commercials and TV stuff. If I tell you I am behind it, you'll be shocked. So sometimes last year, we decided that, okay, I was going to throw a lot of focus on the other side of me. So we paused with the music for a while. And then also, what happened was later in the last quarter of the year, we decided, okay, let me do a project, an album of mine, where I was going to feature all these top artists that I've worked with. So the whole of last year, you wouldn't get me like producing artists and you hear the songs out there. I was mainly focused on private business.
Okay.
And then the only time I decided to do music was when I decided to record my own album.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how come you guys
right. But obi artificial what kind audio visual can you elaborate more on that?
So basically what we are doing here is audio visual because that's visuals.
Okay.
And this is audio.
Okay.
Okay. But so basically what happens is that you see a whole lot of radio or TV commercials, right? There are people who script the commercial, both TV or radio.
Okay.
When we script them, those people are actually the creative behind all that stuff, but they bring it to the studio where we bring what we call voiceover artists. Or let's say people like you to probably endorse or do all of that. Yeah. So we record the radio commercials or record the TV commercials. Sometimes it could also be a documentary. So when we say audio visuals, anything relating to audio and then also visuals.
Visual, okay.
So what we are having here right now is actually
audio visual. What to me tie, what to mean so eshe.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, Ubrofuna adults. Now, let's come and look at the credits for beat makers. Say, if there is nothing for me to jam with the lyrics, into me, what I say, Bayana Dudwana no, say COVID-19 about. First of all, I'm going to say, with this COVID-19 how are you surviving as, you know, in your industry?
We are, the entire ecosystem, 360 system has been affected because once you don't have an event, we can gather, we can socialize. Entertainment is more or less socializing.
Yeah.
So once we can gather, we can socialize, we can have an event. Literally it means that we are not in business. You understand me? So what it is that even if an act has a hit song, as of now, he can't even go around performing or making money out of it. And so directly or indirectly, Studio 2 is affected. But there are more advanced way of going around all of this, you know. Like for instance, yesterday I was chatting with Sak. I emailed him a beat. He probably will record it. Email me by the vocals. Without him necessarily
come in contact with
exactly.
you, right?
There's so many ways around it, but then that is the process of making it. But then the pick of it is where you want to go and meet your audience, your fans, and then outdoor whatever you have. But once we can have that, what it means is that we are not in business. Exactly.
Now let's come and look at credits beat makers like yourself when you produce such amazing tunes for people to sing on now. Dodo na send am di kan dodo na no woman sheda woman tinyum no ye wati asima sinyum no ba won kai say what the credit be maden woni pa wo produce rhythm no and I say me kan say beat ye to nyum no was no as a legend like yourself no do you think say ye betumi aye bibia fa so that the beat makers of that particular hit song or whatever song it is invoke aye ni na ye jam to know you know they will be given that credit due?
I think it's already happening. If I quite remember, like 15 years ago, the first people who started doing that was JQ and Hammer.
Yeah.
Where we heard JQ's breaking of bottles in a song, and you hear Manche mentioning last two in Samuel Brafo's song and all of that stuff. It grew up. Now, almost every song you hear, you probably will hear the producer's name inside, or where you probably in the artwork or where you actually got a song from or download or stream, you see produced by XYZ artist, producer, or whoever's name will be there. You see, the real job of a producer is not to really outshine the artist.
Okay.
So where you want to say, okay, let's create more room for them. It's not really. There's still room for them, but then your job as a producer is to make sure your artist shines. Make sure that you want to elevate your artist, put him, let him be the star. You don't want to compete with the star. You see, as a producer, I understand my calling is to be able to pick a raw artist, modify him, and then let him shine.
Okay.
If I lose focus and I feel like I also want to shine,
I want the creditor.
That's where there's going to be a bit of friction. You see the setup here?
Yeah.
The real person pulling you is your producer.
Yeah.
Sometimes telling you the questions to ask.
Yeah.
But you are the person everybody knows. But guess what? Should he not be around, you probably will be fumbling as to what to ask and what not to ask.
Right.
But he understands his job so well that he doesn't need to come and be here and like, yo, this is me.
When you are trying to even get him on a camera to say hello, you say, oh, no, I don't
I'll
want
be
to
honest
come.
with you, you see that guy, Elom, he virtually actually forced me to be here.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even have a picture out there. Like, you won't even know who I am.
Yes.
Because I don't want you to know who I am. I just want you to fall in love with what I do.
Yeah.
Follow that. I am more content knowing that this is my calling. My job is to make stars. I don't want to be that star.
All right.
I am comfortable where I am. Wow.
That is beautifully answered. I have Joshua Raffleson. That was a beautiful tune by Kaakie. Actually, he used to be the manager of Kaakie, right? No, you used to produce him. You used to work with her. Anna.
Okay. Kaakie was my artist, signed to my record label.
Sure.
I wasn't Kaakie's manager.
Okay.
There was somebody whose sole job is to manage Kaakie. It was between Sadiq and Henry.
Okay.
And Kaakie had a PR, that's Elombini.
Okay.
I was more like the guy behind the scene.
Okay.
But obviously, that's
and see, Kaakie, a free or record label, as you know, have you signed new acts?
Not yet. I am trying to take time to activate that aspect again. But for now, we are focusing on other stuff.
Okay, okay. For now, we are focusing on other stuff. we are waiting for the other stuff to come too. Okay, now let's talk about Rhythm of the Gods. This is a very beautiful album, which has over 34 musicians on there.
Okay.
With different faces of. It takes a genius to sit down, say, we're coming up with such a project. But first of all, my young can't say, why the name Rhythm of the Gods?
Okay, so who are gods? Who is a god? Basically, me and my team thought it wise to say, okay, the people who have excelled so well, so much within our time of entertainment, we credit them as gods within that sector.
Yeah.
You know, you can be accredited, like you could be given a name like Dr. So and so. You probably are not even a doctor.
Right.
But in that field, you have excelled to that limit where they actually put that name on you. Now, so what we are saying is that not the big God, but the small gods. Within entertainment, these are the gods that rule within our time, our generation, basically. That's what it is.
So rhythm of the gods. So we
The gods of our time when it comes to entertainment.
Okay, now somebody will sit down and say to get over 34 musicians on one album is mind blowing, because my share album now it's like it comes with 5 different faces. You have the dance hall, you have Afrobeat, you have the divas, that's the hip hop and everything. Why? In fact, what was the whole concept like? The concept behind birthing such a beautiful album.
Okay, so I think 10 years or 11 years ago, me and my team started something called Rhythms. Rhythms is actually not owned by we. It's a culture that is in Jamaica. Started a long time ago, but in Ghana, we actually, I think 2009, we did our first version called Trigger Rhythm, where I produced one particular beat and a lot of artists use that same beat. And what it does is that because we have a lot of artists on it, you are able to bring up new up-and-coming artists through that. You know, to promote a song is quite expensive. So assume that we have been able to promote one beat and it's blown. Now, if you put an up-and-coming on it, because people already love that, it will be easier for that person to also get into the system. So the first time you heard of Stonebwoy, Hills and Valley, that was the first time on that rhythm. Then we had I1 and all those people. Then we did another one called Missile Rhythm. That was actually what Samini had, what's the name? Scatter Bad Mind. That brought a whole issue between Samini and Shatawale. Then we paused there. Then we came about with this one. The whole idea is that I produce one beat, and then within that space of artists, we select the best of them to jump on it. So we had, let's say, the hip hop edition. We had Sack, we had T-Flow, we have, name all these great guys. They all use that particular beat, and then the idea is to see who really ruled hip hop within that year. Then we had another one for the dancehall people. Then we had another one for the divas. The divas basically is about all the girls. If you name them, all of them. Then we have then we had Afrobeat. We had, so it was actually a 360 spectrum, basically.
Wow. That just say 2 years sha. Only unyum to form every genre ayejuma. Now, being a legend, being a producer, you have the mind, you have the brain to detect that this is a good talent, this will go far, this will excel. Now, let me ask you this. In your opinion, what are the, which people, and now who would you name as your top best 4 dancehall artists?
You virtually have mentioned almost all of them. If you give me 4, then that's good. Okay.
4, Credos.
No, I'll give it to you. So 4 is...
ranking from the 4th position to the 1st.
For me, it starts with Samini. Shatta. Sack. Stonebwoy. The last person will probably be...
Lewinana.
Jupiter.
Okay. Now let's come into the whole diva, parts of the album. Now, which people do you have on there?
Sister Fia, Eshon, Raquel, Eno, about 6.
Maybe we'll have it does
about 6 of them. 6 of the Felinuna. Yes, almost all of them. Adina also.
All right. Now, I personally love Adina. Now, let me seek your opinion on this issue too. So, we share your Ghana music industry. We share how the women are doing now, in your opinion, no, do you think say there's something they can do to be better? Say because I say yeah, you na quite ready. A man boy juma, omo ye juma pa. Looking at Wiala Dems, all these people, they are really working. But in your opinion, as a producer, would to me detected talent. Now they also say, "Bibi wo omo to me ya ebema omo abro." Do omo ye nesu saying?
Okay, truthfully speaking, as an the female side is very dull. For a while now, I haven't really heard of a female vocalist for a long time now.
Right.
Somebody who gives me that goes bumps.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's really some talent. You see the era of Kaakie, Efia, MzVee, then Ebony. After that era, I haven't really encountered a real. There are a couple of them doing very well, like Wendy Shea, Fantana, name all of them. They are doing well, but then they lack energy. Like we need that vibrant female act that really, when you are mentioning the male, he's even there. He's dominating both the
and
female
you think we've not found that yet?
They are doing well, but then, sincerely speaking, there's so much gap between the females and the males as we speak.
Okay.
There's so much huge gap. Okay. But you know, the thing about female artists is another topic on it. It's a very, very difficult business. Like managing female artists. It's very, very
look like we the women are difficult.
No. It's not that. Even worldwide, if I ask you, give me 10 female artists right now, you probably will struggle.
Oh.
You probably will.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, what happens is that a female artist is a very sophisticated artist. I want to be very careful with my choice of words here, but literally the energy it takes to manage, let's say, artists, not male, or just say artists. You need double of that to manage a female.
Girl power, people.
You know, it's very, very difficult.
Right.
It takes a lot of energy and time. You know,
and understanding.
You know who a woman is.
Yeah.
You know,
we are
that vibe. So that's the only thing.
Okay. Now, before you go, I will seek your opinion on this issue. I mean, being we a penny and a Jumana so I will match it. Uti a Jumana say. Kawe yesini mina maker. Okay. So me do a cheer.
Moti anyame na meka on no say.
Mina maker. Say yesini twamo adwuma nko we kasa uti sini twase. What I say. But
can be mean to.
One tia fanisa. She say, you know, I mean, look at what happened over the weekend. I mean, with Funny Face and then Kojon Kansala win on national television on such a huge platform. Now, being a legend, being someone who have worked with all these artists and all that, what's your take on that issue?
On the event or why it happened? Which one are you after?
I mean, on the event, what happened? What happened?
The event is entertainment. Entertainment is basically that. Okay. That's 100% entertainment.
Okay. All right.
Whatever transpired between those two great talents, they are humans.
Right.
It has happened.
Yeah.
And I actually say kudos to the producer to be able to capture that moment. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
If we understand what entertainment is about,
we wouldn't take it personal.
It's not. The word is not even personal. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy watching it?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people did because everybody was like, "Hey,
don't exclude yourself." Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Good.
I did. I'm not excluding.
Was you entertained?
Yes, I was. So it has fulfilled its purpose. Why? That says the legend.
Before that, are you aware? Wobeti actually is one of the sponsors of my album.
Yeah.
You are aware?
Yeah.
Okay. So kudos to Dr. Manfred and then Dr. Harry.
Yes.
Your mother company.
My mother company. Yeah, my mother company.
Great. They did a lot of work on that project for me.
Wow. So
oh, talking of a balance, Elam just reminded me that there is a balance they are supposed to be.
I thought you I come to say so now be a can't make us fiscally see me so.
Yeah, from the corner office. Now me go kind and say a balance be.
I was on the mouth.
Was on the mouth.
And the Dr. Manfred Pacho, your babaji a balance.
On TV.
On TV, into what the mammy me baby acknowledge. You know my dog too.
Oh no,
mom from.
Mom from.
Oh na dey.
Mom from.
Oh some me Miss Jama.
Hey, gay pa.
Oh.
Jay, can send the man. Hello, babaji.
All right, that was a beautiful interview. But quickly before you go, give me your top 5 producers in Ghana now. Now, top 5 on top of your head. Top 5, ranking from 1st to 5th. I've got him on the hot seat, people.
Do you know who a producer is?
Maybe I may not really understand into depth as your understanding.
You see, let me take this opportunity. Okay. Let's do this real quick.
Your camera.
Okay.
Okay.
When you say a producer, we have different kinds of producers.
Right.
So, for instance, I know what you actually want me to say, but I want to take the opportunity to let's shed some light.
Okay.
There are different kinds of producers. Now, what you want me to mention are beat makers.
Right.
And then there are producers. Even that your man, he's a producer.
Yeah.
But for visuals. So if I just start mentioning names, question is,
you will not, yeah, you
so let me give you beat makers.
Yes.
Then I'll tell you my
top 5 beat makers.
Producers also.
Right. Beat producers. Okay.
But let me just, it's so confusing. So let me just pack them all. So it starts with Zamalet.
Okay.
Hubert Kofi Enti.
Okay.
Kewa.
Right.
Killbeat.
Okay. Last one.
None of them but myself.
No, but as for you, there would be US in China because we know the what's not so we into one more.
So there's this guy you people don't usually know. His name is Panji.
Okay.
He's a great producer.
Wow.
He's actually my godfather.
Okay. Okay, so you learned from him?
No, I actually learned from Case Frequency, KK of blessed memory.
Okay.
But Panji is actually the guy who actually said, you know what, you have a future in engineering. I want you to take that as a profession.
Wow. That's beautiful. Today, I had a very insightful interview with Joshua Raffleson. J Master J, baby. He was in the studio. It's Miss Remo. I have for Mumma and I'm in Nana Sese no by so when your papa we Pama about set so no. Na what I say. Say you know, if you work with influential bosses, it makes your job easier. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you. It was lovely having you. Still do stay tuned. This is still Bright Extra. When I come back, I'm going to bring you my next interview. Today's show is power packed, but you know, I got you.